So that's it. Europa League football for the moment is now concluded. Arsenal have topped their group. We are in at the last 32 of the Europa League, which we already knew. And we have done the group stage with 5 wins, 1 draw, 16 points out of a possible 18. And I'm such a relief, man. Oh my God, Europa League football is just... yeah, it's fun. It really is fun. Yes, we are 22 games unbeaten. Yes, we've kept this incredible run going. And yes, Lacazette once again gets onto the score sheet to get some confidence. The return of Lauren Koscielny and Mesut Ozil as well. But just over the 90 minutes, wow, what an absolutely shite game of football. It's just, I can't beat around the bush. The Europa League is just absolutely horrendous. But welcome back to Analysing Arsenal. These are my thoughts and feelings to the game at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal have beaten Qarabag by 1-0. And also, we are going to be looking at events against Huddersfield, when Arsenal beat Huddersfield also by 1-0. Back-to-back 1-0. 1-0 to the Arsenal, 1-0 wins. Firstly against Huddersfield, secondly against Qarabag. I was so busy at the weekend that I didn't get a chance to record a match review. And also, as you can probably tell and hear from my voice, yeah, DJ Bagpuss is once again a little bit run down, but we are going ahead and kind of doing 2 match reviews for the price of 1. So let's start with the Europa League. Let's start with tonight's action. And going into this game, really, there wasn't really anything we're playing for, you know, and we knew that. I think we were already qualified and we had already, you know, got into the last 32 like after match day 3, match day 4, so we're just kind of, you know, finishing off a fixture list essentially. And you know what the Europa League is good for is the fact that it does give, you know, the youngsters a chance to kind of, you know, spread their wings and give them a chance, you know, on a European stage to see what they can do, what they can, you know, bring to the table. And you know, players such as like Joe Willock, you know, players such as Saka, who I didn't even know we had, but you know, he's, you know, had a chance to kind of show everybody what he's got, you know. And Ketia, or Nikita as I like to say, also, you know, had kind of, you know, minutes played. Martinez, you know, a goalkeeper that is barely used because, you know, we've got Leno, we've got Cech. He isn't really kind of looked into at all. It's nights like this that gives those youngsters an opportunity. And also what I like about Unai Emery is that he also includes kind of top players like Lacazette, like Ozil, like Socrates. You know, he kind of, you know, it's not just a complete skeleton team with kind of, you know, 11 youngsters all on the field. It's kind of like a kind of a little bit of a mix match, you know. It's almost like a pick and mix, really. You've got the baby ones, you've got the experienced ones, a pick and mix of players, and those experienced ones can kind of carry the youngsters through those difficult moments, and also the youngsters also know that they've got kind of almost space to make a mistake, because the old kind of experienced ones will pick up the, you know, the youngsters' mistakes. They pick up where the mistakes last left off. But it does result in just not, you know, great football. I mean, the Europa League, I saw it last season, it doesn't really get going until kind of the later stages, and we've also got some really strong teams that have moved down from the Champions League into the Europa League for the knockout stages. Something which I don't agree with. I don't understand what gives Champions League teams the right to come into the Europa League and take it away from sides that have gone through all of the group stage. You might as well not go through a group stage if you're just going to get knocked out by a Champions League reject, really. Something that I don't agree with, and I've never ever agreed, well, I've not really needed to agree with it because Arsenal's never been in the Europa League, but now being in the Europa League, I certainly don't agree with, you know, that rule that the Champions League teams, the teams that finish in third in the Champions League, go down into the Europa League. Like, that, how is that fair? Someone tell me in the comment section below, how on earth, in what kind of possible world is that fair? But anyway, let's jump back to the game. Again, really one bit of quality, a bit of magic from Alexandre Lacazette. As it goes down to the right hand side, Lacazette breaks through the Qarabag backline and just kind of uses his left foot to just, you know, kind of swift it past the goalkeeper and kind of just bend it into the top left hand kind of the top bottom left hand corner, shall we say. And you know, the keeper could have saved it, a better goalkeeper would have saved it, but again, you know, on 16 minutes, a bit of quality by Lacazette. But that's it, really. And I'm not exaggerating. I don't really know, you know, and I haven't got really any kind of major moments during the game, really. I think Saka had a really good chance to make it 2-0. We also did score. Ketia scored a goal that was deemed as offside, and rightly so. It was the right decision. And you know, when you look at the stats, really, I mean, we had 11 shots, 4 on target, 67% of possession. Qarabag had 1 shot, not a single shot on target, 30% of possession. But they didn't really offer anything, and nor did Arsenal really offer anything. It is one of those games which, does anybody really want to play? I mean, you saw how empty the Emirates is. I mean, obviously it's a Thursday night, it's a work night. You know, not many people are going to, you know, make their, you know, way down to the Emirates and take the trip down to the Emirates, particularly if it's a game that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, you know, Arsenal have already won the group, we're already into the last 32. This is almost like a friendly tonight, essentially. So, you know, I do like seeing the youngsters, you know, being able to kind of breathe. And I do think that Lacazette's goal was outstanding. The way that he just kind of got it onto his right foot and just slotted the ball, placed the ball past the keeper, even though the keeper should have saved it. It was a really, really good shot and a decent opportunity that was well taken. It was really nice to see Laurent Koscielny back in an Arsenal shirt. Obviously, he picked up a really serious injury in May in our Europa League semi-final against Atletico Madrid that saw him out till kind of, he's literally just come back. And, you know, rehab is one of those places for any player that can be quite a lonely place, and you know, it kind of really tests the kind of psychological strength of a player, and it seems like Koscielny has kind of done this, and you know, he has kind of, you know, been that sort of player that, you know, he has kind of kept his shoulders up and he's dealt with it with class, and he's been able to say, yes, you know, this happened to me, yes, this was a bad thing that happened to me, but I'm going to come back stronger, bigger and better. And I think he's done just that. I really generally think he's done just that with the way that he showed, you know, tonight. And I think him and Socrates actually could be a good partnership. I think, you know, Unai Emery needs to slowly kind of, you know, blend Koscielny back into the starting lineup. I'll be shocked if he kind of throws him right into the deep end against Southampton on Sunday. I don't think he would do that. I think he's going to, you know, slowly, you know, kind of, you know, breed him into the side. But it was nice for, you know, Koscielny to get a couple of minutes. Mesut Ozil back in the starting lineup after a back spasm, and wow, well, Mesut Ozil is kind of, he's always been one of those players that has kind of made people kind of, you know, he's a very opinionated kind of, you know, player. People are very opinionated on him. He kind of, you know, makes fans kind of go either on one side or the other. You know, he's a polarising character, essentially. And, you know, he is a world-class player. There is no denying that. There's no disputing that. He is, on his day, one of the best players in the world. You know, the amount of assists that he gets and the amount of ways that he can kind of, you know, feed a ball through to an attacker, and he could do that in a number of different ways. I think on his day he's world class. However, and I always said this about Ozil, he is not the type of player, and he will never be the type of player in FIFA. Yes, he is. In my career mode, Ozil works. In real life, Ozil does not work for the team, and I mean that in the way that when he's on the ball, he's majestic, he's elegant, he's creative, he is kind of complex in the way that he kind of opens up space. And when he's on the ball, some of the stuff that he does is nothing short of extraordinary. But when he loses the ball, and I've seen a little kind of improvement, I've seen a slight improvement under Unai Emery than what Ozil was doing under Arsene Wenger, but he won't run back. You know, if, for example, Lucas Torreira loses the ball, you will see that man not just run, but sprint. He will sprint to try and get back and win the ball to make up for the error that he's made in the first place. Ozil won't do that. And Ozil is not good at being kind of that presser. So, you know, over the last couple of weeks, Unai Emery, and we know Unai Emery's tactic is to press. Press from minute 1 to minute 90. You pass from the back, you defend as a team, you attack as a team. And, you know, from goalkeeper to striker, you're constantly and consistently pressing the opposition. And for that to work, all 11 players have to be kind of in sync to do that. Everyone's got to be in tune, and everybody has got to be able to do that. And Ozil will not do that. And if you've got one player that is struggling and one player that won't, you know, allow himself to do that and isn't able to press with the team, it breaks down. You know, you have to have all 10 players, or even, you know, including your goalkeeper. The whole team has got to be able to press to be effective, or it's not effective. You know, one single player lets down that pressing. Now, tonight against Qarabag, when we dominate, we didn't really need to press them. There wasn't really any kind of real kind of urge and intensity to do that, because we were controlling the game through passing, you know, pass and move, and that is Ozil's game. You know, if Arsenal are dominating the side and just passing it around to death, Ozil's going to shine. But, you know, say against Tottenham, Ozil wouldn't have been able to do what we did against Spurs by, you know, pressing them from minute 1 to minute 90. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see whether he is in the starting lineup for Sunday. I personally wouldn't start him, just because he's a world-class player. That does not kind of entitle him to be started every single game. And at the moment, we are pressing teams from minute 1 to minute 90. A, he's not going to fit to that. B, I don't think he can do that. C, I'm not sure whether Unai Emery likes him, because some of the stuff that he did tonight, when he lost the ball, there was one point in the game where he got fouled. So one of the Qarabag players kind of brought him to the floor, and rather than getting up and trying to win the ball back, he just stayed on the floor, waited and expected the referee to blow up. Now, Unai Emery's not going to like that. Not going to like that at all. And there are kind of aspects to Ozil's game. And, you know, I'm not being, because I'm rarely actually criticised Ozil on this channel, and I'm not criticising him, but I'm saying that the way and the mould that Unai Emery is, you know, putting across to this Arsenal side, Ozil, in my opinion, doesn't fit that mould, and I don't think he will ever fit that mould, and that is a problem. If you've got one player that isn't going to adapt to what the manager wants, you're going to be in a spot of bother. Now, the back spasm, I felt, sounds like a little bit of a coincidence. Whenever Ozil gets injured, I always think it's a little bit of a coincidence. But, you know, only time will tell, really. If he starts against Southampton, then we know that Unai Emery, you know, kind of is in favour of him and wants him to play more games at a consistent level. If he's not in the starting lineup and he's not injured, well, it could be kind of one of those reasons where Unai Emery's kind of thinking, no, this player isn't going to, you know, do what I want, and he's not doing what I want, and that means that we've got a problem. And, you know, Southampton on Sunday is not going to be an easy game at all. So I feel that we're going to need, you know, every single player to press. And I don't think, you know, with Ozil on the side, I think that could be a downfall, really. In relation to the Europa League, though, as I said, 16 points out of 18, going into next Monday's, you know, round of 32 draw. I expect us to get to at least the semi-final as a minimum. The final is kind of, you know, a maximum, really. You know, I expect us to be right up there and in this competition to the very end, particularly, you know, with Unai Emery and the experience he's got from winning the Europa League. Whether this side is capable of winning the Europa League, we've got the capability of the squad to win it. Whether we can beat some of the bigger boys, particularly Chelsea, that is kind of another story, really. So it's going to be interesting to see, and, you know, the Europa League will start to get interested. I'll be able to kind of, you know, put more emphasis into it once we get into the later stage of the competition. But I just want to be back into the Champions League, because I absolutely hate the Europa League, and it's not a competition until we get to the very late stages that I can really get behind, in the same way that I can get behind a Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, or even, you know, a Champions League game. I would have, if I had done a match review on Saturday, I would have said that, again, we didn't play particularly well, but, you know, we got the job done through a bit of magic, a piece of magic for Lucas Ferreira, and that is, again, one of the greatest things that this Arsenal side of what Unai Emery is doing, is that we are, in moments, we're not playing well, but we're still getting the job done. And for me, I'm really hoping that I don't sneeze. I'm almost at the end of this match review. You know, in my opinion, I think that is, you know, a huge kind of characteristic. If you're, as a team, if you don't play well, you still get 3 points. That is a huge, you know, kind of, you know, strong, physical, personal trait that is going to take you to, you know, big and bold places. And I think, you know, to go 22 games unbeaten is obscene. It's crazy. So, you know, we've got quite a nice Christmas kind of schedule. We've got Southampton, we've got Spurs in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. That is going to be a huge game. We have also, I believe, we have got Burnley, and that's our last game before Christmas, before Brighton on Boxing Day. And then the big one is on December 29th when we play Liverpool at Anfield. So, you know, if we can get to 2019 still unbeaten, that's crazy. You know, in my head, I'm just going, let's just keep this unbeaten run going and going and going and see where we are. You know, that game at the weekend against Huddersfield, under Arsene Wenger, and I don't mean to kind of belittle Arsene Wenger, but that is the type of game that we would have dropped points. And we got the job done through a moment of magic by Lucas Torreira. And we move on to Sunday now. That is another big test because Southampton, as we've seen over the last couple of years, is a big bogey side. We always struggle up at St Mary's. I remember the 4-0 that we suffered on Boxing Day in 2015. I remember the 1-1 draw that we picked up last season at St Mary's in December. So we always struggle at St Mary's against the Saints. So I'm interested to see how we perform on Sunday, and I will be rejoining you for a match review on Sunday. So if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to it if you're new around here, and check out my great content as well. We have got a Christmas special on the way, and my FIFA kind of pack opening is going to be in the new year as well. Lots of content on the way, and I will rejoin you on Sunday. Until then, this is signing out. Take care, and I shall see you all later. Take care, and see you all very, very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.